I'm a Region 5, ready or not, here I come, coming in hot, I'ma take my body for a spin.
Back again for more of the College Salute podcast, the place where we keep you updated on how our Region 5 alums are doing during their NCAA careers. NCAA preseason is well underway, and we are continuing to check in with some of our alums and reflect on the 2024 season, as well as taking them back to being part of Region 5. You know Kim, and of course I'm Jason, and our alumni guest has shined in the blue and gold, and now in the scarlet and gray. Though Kim has known her for years, I first took notice of her at the 2019 Level 10 National Championships and her floor routine that was a perfect mix of attitude and personality that you just could not stop watching. She has taken that style, mixed with her power, onto the NCAA stage, and we have enjoyed every minute of it. I know Kim will go full out and give you more on Sidney in her intro, but we are excited to have her on the show today. You know who else goes full out? Full Out Recruiting. They are focused on helping their clients reach their college gymnastics goals. With resources and guidance to athletes, coaches, and parents through the college recruiting process, they go full out to make the experience a fun and productive one. Thank you to Full Out Recruiting for sponsoring the College Salute podcast and your continued support of the Region 5 media platform. And now, Kim, let's introduce our alumni, Sidney, in a way you only find on the College Salute podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. Guess who's coming to the floor? Gotta get up to get down. Gotta get up to get down. What up, everybody? So glad you're here. It's K Slice with the flow back in your ear. This ain't a fantastic voyage, but I'm still on a mission to see if we can get your attention. We got Sid Dove from the Buckeye State, so we're gonna drop information for your education. When she hits the floor, you can feel the beat. Her routine's all sassy with a little street. Stick, stick, boom. She goes from east to west. You already know who's the best. Slide, slide, pits the pass. She's got something brand new in the season of last. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's watch Sid Dove take the floor. Got to get up to get down. Got to get up to get down. OHIO. It's her senior season, so let's go.
Well, if you haven't taken anything from that great rap, our alumni guest today is Buckeye senior Sidney Washington. And Sid, thanks you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you on the pod today.
Awesome. I'm so glad to be here.
Well,
It's so crazy that you're a senior, by the way. Let's just say that. I just got to put that out.
I know it went by really, really fast. I'm still shocked.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into it all, we like to let our audience know just a little bit about your background. 2019 Level 10 National Qualifier. You were a member of the winning Junior F team. That was a fun nationals. We actually won that nationals. And fifth all around there. And like I said, that was where I really got to know your gymnastics and see you shine as you did. 2019 Region 5 All-Star team member that year. However, unfortunately, you did not attend for a a non-back injury that they thought you had. That sucks, but to miss out on that opportunity. That was Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
2021, we had a break year. Of course, she would have been, I'm sure a 2020 national qualifier too. But 2021 Level 10 national qualifier, member of the winning senior E team. Obviously, when you're on a team, you just don't know how to lose, obviously. But and sixth on vault. 3-time rookie of the week, your freshman year at Pitt. All Eagle in the all-around. I know you and I were talking prior to going recording. We won't be seeing that anymore, but that's awesome. Eagle in the all-around. All Eagle, sorry. Vault and floor in your freshman year. All Eagle on floor and vault in your sophomore year. And then you switched over to be a Buckeye. Last year competing in every meet on vault, bars, and floor in your junior year, and we were awesome. We were awesome. We thought it was awesome to get to see you, especially in the Big Ten, more because obviously to watch Pitt meets sometimes was very difficult to do. So we were very excited to have you in the Big Ten and get to see you more and more compete. But before we talk about your NCAA career, let's take a moment and reflect back on your club career. How did your years in Region 5 help to prepare you for what was going to come at Pitt and now at Ohio State?
I think that the community of Region 5 just really helped, being on a team with other people and just knowing a couple faces from, other schools just really helped with that transition. And especially coming to Ohio State, there's a lot more Region 5 people there, like Tori Vetter and Caitlin Grimes, that I already knew that were in my age group, that kind of made that transition a lot easier to compete and just have fun. And the camps too, we all bonded and we all have memories from those Region 5 camps, and just something that I will never, ever forget.
Looking back, what are 3 of your favorite memories from all your experiences during club?
Ooh, I would say one of my favorite memories was being able to go to nationals in 2019 with my best friend and winning. That was pretty amazing, especially our freshman year. We didn't make it, so it was kind of like a comeback season. And then I think my second favorite moment was committing to a school like right after COVID, all that craziness, and being able to experience that with my other teammates too, and competing our last year of club together, already kind of knowing where we're going to college. And then getting to nationals my senior year after all the craziness and in the midst of COVID still, being like unsure of how our last season was going to go. And it ended up being great and amazing. And I think it was where was it? Dayton Beach?
That was that was Daytona. Yeah,
Daytona,
that was Daytona.
yes, Daytona, yes.
With our wonderful face masks that we all hated.
Yes. Oh, gosh, it was amazing. And just finishing that up, and it was very emotional after the hectic junior COVID year. It was a great way to finish it off. Those were my top 3 moments, I would say.
No. We were excited to be back out there, but that whole year with those face masks, especially those ones we got for nationals.
Oh my God, those white ones! I feel like I was wearing like men's underwear on my face.
Yeah, it was.
It's what it looked like. Oh, it was so bad.
Just to think back on those times. Wow, that's crazy now. But
I never want to have to do that again.
no.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
6 months in the park and then meets with masks. No, thank you.
No,
Nope.
I agree.
So you've now given your favorite Region 5 moments, and I'm going to give you mine. My favorite Sid moments from Region 5, because as I was like going through some stuff, like remembering, I literally was like, I got to talk about these moments and I don't want to forget. So my favorite Sidney Washington moments from your time with us in club, your 2018 state meet vault, your stick and your salute and your just excitement with Brian. Do you remember that moment?
Yes, I do.
Because
I do.
I'll never forget that moment. Like, you were so excited, and the vault was so freaking good. And oh my God, those are those blue Leos too. I liked those. Also, your 2019 floor routine, the faces, the fire, and especially your routine that you did at nationals with Hallie doing literally every movement next to you on the side of the floor. I thought she was going to jump up on the floor and you guys were going to do like a duet floor routine.
Yes.
That would have been so awesome. That would have been so fun. And then, of course, filming your Region 5 Spotlight at Gym America, and just you were so fun, and your group was so fun to do it with. But all the TikToks, every moment, you guys were doing some sort of TikTok, because TikTok was huge, more bigger with the dances then.
Yeah.
But that was just so much fun, and it was a great time. So like those are my 3 favorite Sidney memories of your club career.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to post. I think we'll have to repost that 2019 floor routine, because that routine, like I said, like I've talked about it, you talked about it. I love that routine. I don't know.
I know, me too.
I mean, not that we haven't liked your college routines, because yes, we have. But I just that routine just, I don't know. It was just awesome. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about it besides the attitude, just how you came on the floor, just the faces, the ways. I don't know. It was just awesome routine. I just loved it.
I think like that one was very special to like everyone, because I just remember I was literally last up. The competition was over and everybody was just watching me, and I just remember Brian telling me like, you got this, like this is what you've been training for, and he always puts me last on the floor, so I was like, okay, whatever. And I don't think my teammates like on like my national team were expecting me to just go like all out like that too, so I just think that excitement, and then landing that last pass, and then just seeing the score and how we just like literally won, not the competition, but like the whole thing. Like we just, it was just like a big moment. And I think that was why it was so special.
And you definitely gave that routine like that much extra too. Like you always gave faces and attitude and just like always over exaggerated your floor routine. But like that one was like to the nines. Like that was like amazing. And I'm just like, okay, if I got to sit here because she's going to do that there, and I knew exactly where I need to be, get all those good moments. And Hallie right behind you too. So yeah, I applaud you and myself for videoing that routine, because if I wasn't in the right spot, I wouldn't have all of Hallie doing it in the corner, which was amazing. Your floor routines are so interactive.
I try.
I love it. We're going to talk more floor later. So, anyways, so you began your NCAA career at Pitt. So what made you choose Pitt to begin with?
I chose Pitt first and foremost, mostly because they were they're very adamant about how they wanted to transform their program, with them being fairly new, having a fairly new coaching staff there. And then Dave was there at the time, loved him, and I just really wanted to be a part of that program because I remember being coached by him at Michigan camp, and then he went to Pitt, and I just loved his coaching style. And it was also just out of state. I really wanted to get out of Michigan and experience something else too. So that was another big factor as to why I mostly went to Pitt, or decided to go to Pitt.
They always have great leotards too, by the way. Like Pitt always has such beautiful and fun and like meaningful leotards. So I mean, hey, I would have just gone for the leotards, I think, too. But that's how I operate. I'm like, oh, you have great leotards. I'm gonna go to your school. But now the entire Pitt staff is like Region 5.
Yes.
Which is crazy. Kind of fun though. So, well, you had a good career at Pitt, and then one day you decided to hop into the transfer portal and then go to OSU. And I remember seeing that come up on the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, Jason, she's at Ohio State. And I mean, as we've mentioned already and before, you're from Ann Arbor area. Your dad worked at Michigan, and now he's at Michigan State. And you're at Ohio State. So what made you? But we're going to talk about your dad and that in a second. But what made you choose to jump into the transfer portal and then ultimately decide on Ohio?
I think I love being at Pitt. Like, I love my teammates there. I love the school there. I just thought that I wasn't going to be able to reach my full potential as a college gymnast there. And, you know, my teammates were fully supportive of that. And I know that if I look somewhere, I know that if I find a place where I can, you know, reach my goals and, you know, help a team out, you know, that was, you know, the main goal. So, so I think I asked Claudia, you know, just to reach out to some people. And I remember Luke Wasson, he was the assistant at the time, reached out and texted me. And I was like, I was very hesitant. I was like, oh, Ohio State, like, you know, but I was paying attention a lot to the Big Ten. I've always loved the Big Ten. I grew up in the Big Ten, and I saw that they've had an amazing year. So I was like, okay, we'll see. I did have other schools too, and I think Ohio State was the only school I visited, and just Mayor and Randy, and like the campus and the girls and just everything just really was screaming everything that I have ever wanted. And then them seeing me and what I can contribute to the team also helped with that. And even though it wasn't like, you know, I wasn't really thinking, oh, like I can't go here, 'cause, you know, I don't like Ohio. I was just like, you know, this would make a great place for me to, you know, finish off my last 2 years. And I remember I just called Mayor after like a week, and I was like, I want to come here. And that was that. So
That, I mean, sounds good. That's awesome. I mean, I think it's a great place for you personally. But so I know you and I kind of at regionals at Michigan kind of briefly chatted really quickly about your dad and you being at Ohio State. And I wanted to know, because I was like, wait, he works for Michigan, but you're at Ohio State. How does that work? And you were talking about like what he wears to meets, and he doesn't always wear the red or whatever. So just talk a little bit briefly about your dad and your parents, and their support for you being at Michigan State with that, or their support for you being at Ohio State with them working at Michigan schools, or your dad especially working at Michigan schools. You know, you said he was very supportive of it, which I loved. So just talk a little bit about that and how that is.
Yes. So having a dad working at, Michigan, and then choosing Ohio State, everyone's biggest question is like, oh, does your dad approve? Of course he approves. Like, he bigger than rivalry. Like, that is his daughter doing a college sport. That's very, like, I think it's like less than 5% of the population gets to be able to do that. And especially doing it at a big school like Ohio State, of course he's going to be supportive of it. I mean, maybe he would have been a little bit happier if I went to Michigan, but he knew that wasn't I. He knew I wanted to not stay in Michigan. He knew I was always wanted to get out and look at other places and experience other places. And he knew that this was the type of school that was going to take care of me and takes care of their athletes. So there's that. And again, he, even though it's bigger than rivalry, he still, has that little like, but we got him to wear gray. We got him to wear Ohio State gymnastics. That's the only thing. I don't really know. Maybe he'll wear red this year. I doubt it though, but we'll see. But yeah, it's always been bigger than the rivalry. And he is just so proud of me wherever I went, wherever I go. So it doesn't matter what school I went to, honestly, but it just happened to be.
He's probably just excited you're back in the Big Ten.
Yes. Yeah.
That's probably, he's like, she's in the Big Ten. It's fine. Go to any one of those Big Ten schools, honey.
Literally.
But
Well, I get it because while being recruited, I looked at Michigan State. My dad went to Michigan State. At the time, he didn't like the head coach, so he would not allow me to go to Michigan State. But my mom wanted me to go to Penn State because my mom's from Penn State, and I grew up at Penn State in Indy Lion. Like my entire life, my mom was the president of the Penn State Club of Michigan. We went to all the events. I remember my last event I went to was when Michigan State hosted Big Tens before I went to school at Michigan. Michigan State hosted Big Tens in 1992, I think. And, that was cool. Good experience. I've gone to football games there, whatever. Well, in Michigan, when I was at Michigan, my 4 years, my mom never wore maize and blue. Never. She had sweatshirts. You talk about it. She had sweatshirts created that had Michigan, but most of the time they were either blue and white, because obviously Penn State, or they were in other colors like pink and all that. She wore Michigan gymnastics, but she would not wear the blue and yellow ones. It had to be maize and blue. It had to be like other colors. Or she would wear, like shirts that my son, I'm a Penn State fan, but my son goes to Michigan or stuff like that, those type of things. So I understand.
awesome.
I get it. She would not, she was, cheering on. She was, had full support. She was always there to, do the stuff before the meet and, after meet, the snacks and all that kind of stuff. She was always about our team. But she would never wear maize and blue.
Yes.
Never. Would never do it. And so
That's so funny.
I get it. I get that. So, but it's funny. I was like, when you talk about that, I was like, you know what? That's like my own family. You got who you support, and then you got to make do for your children. Your children make their own choices of where they want to go. And I almost did go to Penn State, but Michigan gave me a better offer. And because back then, we don't get full rides. I mean, very few men get full rides. Gymnasts. I mean, Blaine Wilson at Ohio State during that time, yes, of course, full ride. But I was only on tuition, so we had to make change and figure out what would be cheapest on my parents' side. And Michigan was, ended up being that way. But my parents would have paid it if I had gone to Happy Valley 100%. But
Yeah.
that's so funny.
yes, but
I wanted to go to Penn State too. Like that was my dream school. How funny.
no, it's a great place. I mean, that's one of my favorite cities in the Big Ten is State College, but yeah, no. Ann Arbor was my home. I understand, and we're gonna talk about your 3 different homes that you've had and different city comparisons in a little bit too. I'm very interested to know what you have to think about that. So.
Okay.
Okay, so now you've landed yourself at Ohio State, and you know a bunch of people on your team and your friends, and you've known them for a long time, most of them. What Ohio State teammate inspires you the most?
I would say probably Tori Vetter. I remember my freshman year at Pitt, we competed at Ohio State, and I remember the year prior we were on the same nationals team. So I was really excited to see her, and I was looking around at the, right before warm-ups and stuff, and I saw she was in a sling. She had just gotten shoulder surgery, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like Tori Vetter was one of those gymnasts where you went to a competition, and you were like, oh my, dang it, because she was so good. Come to find out, she felt the same way about me, but that's a different story. But just seeing her come, go through that freshman year and then have an amazing year her sophomore year, and then having an even more amazing year our junior year when I was there, it was just amazing. And then also having that connection. She just welcomed me right away. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a junior. It's not like I'm a freshman. Like people already have like their friend groups. Like, am I gonna fit in? And she was just, hey girl, like how have you been? Just welcomed with open arms. And she's just so much fun to like to compete with. And I'm so glad I'm teammates with her, not competing against her anymore. So
Right. I love Tori Vetter too. She's so fantastic. And anytime we get to see her, also like she just always has high, and just like at regionals in Michigan, you guys came up and chatted with me, and God, I just love you. Oh, I just love you guys.
sweet. So sweet.
What okay, so what Ohio State teammate leaves you like in awe? Like you're just in awe of this person, like her gymnastics, maybe her teammateness, her attitude. Like who's just like, wow, that's like I love her.
Peyton Harris. Oh my gosh, that girl is an animal. When I remember watching, her at like nationals her freshman year, and I was like, she is a freshman? Oh my gosh. She is just so strong and just so talented, and her technique is just seeing that in person and just like, oh my gosh. Like I was like, I'm glad I'm on her team. I'm so glad that she's my team. I know she's going to do amazing every single time. She is just a stud. Like I can't even put it into words. She's so amazing. Oh my God.
She's one of those. Yeah, she's one of those athletes that, in my mind, I always think she's a Region 5 kid or gymnast because
Me too.
she competed in Illinois all the time. I mean, they came. She's from Chelsea M&M Gymnastics, and she would come to UGA. They would come to Linda's meet. They would come to Dave's meet. What the heck's Lucky Invite, all those meets. So they were always in Illinois a lot. So it's like I always felt like she was. So I've seen her grow up, and Mike, her coach, is a good friend of mine, and it's just but watching her in college has been amazing. Like she is awesome. Like she literally is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see why you say that, but no, she's good people. But this is crazy that she's not a Region 5. And you're like, oh no, she's from no, she's not Region 4.
No, she's not. I thought she was from Region 5 for a long time too. Wisconsin can just be part of Region 5.
They were supposed
Let's just
to
make that change.
They were supposed to be, and we were supposed to. We were supposed to move into Region 4 for a little while too. Illinois, the state of Illinois.
No. Wisconsin is Region 5 on the men's side. We should just bring them in on the girls' side too. So who is one of your biggest support systems, biggest supporters on your team?
Man, that's a good question. I would say just say my senior class, the senior and junior class. So it's just me, Caitlin Grimes, and Tori Vetter, and then some of the juniors, Kaylin Mintz, Peyton Harris, Mallory Gregory, like just that whole upper class. I mean, we have a very young team this year, and I just think like we were all a part of a big, heavy upperclassmen last year, and now we're here, and we got each other. We know how it goes, so I think we all, I guess, just know how it is. I mean, the freshmen and the sophomores, like they kind of know us, but they don't really know us that well, or what to expect. So I would say like the upperclassmen of our team are probably like my biggest support system, the people I would go to the most for support.
And the fact that Grimes and Vetter are also seniors.
Yes.
That I can't even fathom that right now.
I know,
that's kind of crazy.
Just like freshmen yesterday. Like, what do you mean?
Right. You were just like making TikToks at regionals with me like 5 minutes ago. I feel like you. So, yeah, the fact that y'all are seniors, I cannot with that today. Y'all just grow up so fast. Who on your team would you consider most similar to you?
Similar, probably Tori Vetter. Like, I know it's like, I don't know. It's funny because we we hung out, like we would hang out like during like Region 5 camps and stuff, and we competed with each other at nationals, but it wasn't until we were teammates we were like, wait, I do that too. Or wait, like I don't I like cuz we're like the type of people who like love McDonald's and like love like junk food and stuff, and like sneak like snacks like on the bus to like trips and stuff, and we're just like, wait. And then yeah, we're I don't know, we're just like a lot like I don't know, like I think that's really funny
I love
in
that.
common. And
And I love snacks too,
yes, we love snacks. We are a very snacking team.
especially on road trips.
Snack eating team.
Oh man,
you
especially
have-
on road trips, like snacks are the best, especially crunchy snacks.
Yes.
Do you have them in your pockets too, like Q does? I mean, what does Q have?
Oh my
What
God.
did she say she had?
Oreos and hot
Oreos
tamales.
and hot tamales. Do you have any special snack in your pockets at meets?
My go-to snacks are like the peanut butter filled pretzels that you get like from Target or something.
Those are so good. Those are so good.
Fire. They're just I
So
always
good.
have a plastic bag full in my bag on road trips, planes, on the floor.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get it. Those are good. Those are good.
Perfect snack.
Those are delicious. I'm gonna have to go to Target now. Great. One of my kids works at Target, or one of my gymnasts. So like maybe I'll get her to get me some of those while she's at Target. So what teammate has had made the biggest impact on your life? Or not even teammate, could be coaching staff too, but like teammate.
Biggest impact on my life. I would probably say Kaylin Mintz. She struggled. Well, she kind of told me her whole life story, I guess you could say, when I first got here. But her freshman year, she kind of struggled a bit. Last year was her sophomore year, and she was. We kind of helped each other because I was newer, and she was also trying to like get into lineups too. And she shared with me how hard it was her freshman year, and how she really, really, really wants to make a lineup. We kind of stuck together, and unfortunately she did tear her ACL at Big Fives last year, but she's just probably one of the strongest people that I know. And we've kind of just been buddies because I don't know if you guys knew this, but I did have it was kind of like an elective like knee surgery on both my knees this summer, 4 months post-op, like a couple weeks ago. And the recovery is a very small surgery. It's going well, but we were kind of with each other in the summer, just working through that. And just going through an injury that serious is very hard mentally. But she's just very strong, and she continues to work hard like every single day. So, even though she's younger than me, she still is just like, okay, like she still gets me, like, I don't know what the word is, but she just still inspires me, I guess is the word, every single day. Because it's not easy. It's not easy at all being a freshman, not competing, and then contributing a lot your sophomore year and then getting hurt. It's not easy, but she is still strong. She's a trooper, and I really appreciate her for that.
How is the knee rehab going? Because of course, we love you on bars. Yes, that's fine. But no, we have to have Sidney on fault and floor. I mean, floor for sure. Come on, gotta have your knees for that.
It's going really well. So I basically I had really bad tendonitis in both of my knees, so they just kind of went in and scooped out all the bad stuff. And I'm already starting to tumble on tumble track and stuff. Bars is pretty much back to like normal, minus like the dismount. We're almost there, but yeah. And then the main thing is just the strength in the weight room. Like I'm really pushing those weights. I was shocked myself. I was like, I don't think I could have lifted this heavy before this surgery before. But it's going along really well. Again, this was something that I chose to do my senior year because I was in a lot of pain last year. Despite of how I looked on TV, I was just kind of just really like in pain, and I really wanted my last year to, not be in pain. So that was that. It's going along very, very well. yeah, just I don't have any complaints about my decision to do that.
Well, good. Oh. Yeah, you want to be healthy and for your last experience. So
Yes.
it's always that way. But you becoming a Buckeye, you talked a little bit about the transition. Did you get any crap from anybody other than your family seemed to be very supportive? But did you get any crap from any friends or any school or anybody like from high school or anything that it's like, what, really, you chose Ohio State?
I think the funniest story, I had a screensaver of my friends and I, and we just had like Michigan sweatshirts. Like that was like my screensaver, which is my friends. We had Michigan, and I forgot. I just didn't think about it, and I just had my phone open, and I think it was one of the somebody's dad on the men's team. He came up to me. He was like, "You're gonna have to change that quickly." I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just had no idea. I was like, oh my God, I forgot. Like, I knew it was like a rivalry. I just, I'm just not in Ann Arbor anymore, I also feel like when you're in Ann Arbor and you're wearing Ohio State stuff, like, the most that you'll get is just like a look. But here in Columbus, they're not like afraid to tell you, like,
Absolutely not.
their opinion about Michigan, which I think is funny. But yeah, the thing that was most shocking for me, especially on my visit, was all the M's. Every single M on class, street names, even the big McDonald's arches, especially during that time, just crossed out. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess it's that serious down here. Like,
there are no M's in Columbus. That's just funny because Columbus has an M in it, and there's no M in Columbus. Leaving Ann Arbor, which is a smaller smaller town. It is not necessarily a school town, as some schools have. Like once the school leaves or the kids leave, the town goes to like nothing, like desert. Ann Arbor's not like that because they've got a lot of events and a lot of stuff. But you moved to Pittsburgh, a much bigger city, obviously. What was that transition like for you?
Yeah, it was I would almost say like a culture shock. Just driving like that. That's like the main thing, was driving in Pittsburgh was just horrible.
It's awful.
It's horrible. Like, I'm used to, having, 3 different lanes on the highway with, enough wiggle room and, exit on the right, exit on the left, and just like maybe 2 or 3 signs. But in Pittsburgh, it's like 7 lanes, 20 different signs, and you come on to the highway on the right, but you have to exit on the very far left lane in about like 0.1 miles. The lanes are very skinny, and there's so many hills. Like I didn't think my car would go up some of them, especially in the winter. And then just walking, I had to walk up. We had this hill called Cardiac Hill because it was right next to a cardiothoracic hospital. But like after you went up that hill, you were like out of breath, and it was to get
at least the hospital was right there if you needed it.
Right. It was right next to the food court and like where we had to do our like study center. So like we had to go there. And then there's very few parking lots in Pittsburgh. Like all the parking you'll do is on the street. So I was not a very good parallel parking person until I moved to Pittsburgh because I had to learn how to do that. But very hectic, very busy. And it's just like, just so different from like the nice calm like suburbs of Ann Arbor.
True story.
But yeah, definitely a place.
Well, and when you drive you drive like on the bridges, and then the signs are like tucked up under the bridge, like up, in the top, and you're like, oh my God, you have to know where you're going. And then the tunnels. Just tunnels.
Yeah.
And that my friend lives in Monaca, so like I go to Pittsburgh pretty semi often. But when regionals was there the one year, and Lloyd and I were carrying camera equipment up a hill to parking, and then back down a hill and then up a hill. Oh my God, I was ready to just like, can I sit on this? And you just pushed me down the side of the grass where it's now muddy because it had rained. I thought I was gonna die going up that hill with all that stuff. I thought I was gonna die. I needed a break.
It was
It was
horrible.
awful.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Never again.
Appalachian.
Awful.
Well, from the town, the city of Pittsburgh, you moved to the capital of Ohio. But realistically, Columbus is not much bigger, or it may seem bigger, but the campus itself is very similar to Ann Arbor.
Yes.
Very similar kind of feel. What was that like, coming back from a bigger city to more of what you grew up in, like the more of the environment you're used to?
It was exactly that. I kind of felt right at home being on campus in Columbus because in Pittsburgh, like you can't really tell when you're on campus because it's still so like city like. But here in Columbus, you know, we have like the Oval and like it's just all like just classes and just Ohio State. Like, you know, you're on campus. And yeah, I was just like kind of being right back in Ann Arbor, but not Ann Arbor, exactly. But and it's also nice because like, you know, it's like a city, but you're still like in a collegey town, and downtown is really not that far away. You just got to go down High Street a little bit more to like reach that downtownish area if you really want to feel like the city of Columbus. I feel so you kind of get the best of both worlds. You know, you either get like college town suburbs or like big city, like, you know, and you just kind of get both here in Columbus, I feel. So that's mostly what it's like, kind of like being at home, but you know, you have a little city if you want to go to just down the road.
We got a story from Claudia, her club coach at Gym America. And when you came to Gym America, you actually wanted to quit the sport.
Mhm.
You were done with it, whatever. And she brought you in, she said, like on a Sunday or something, and talked to you and asked her for you to trust her.
Hmm.
You know, just trust her. And she cut your hours back. It's like 3 days a week or something. You know, that's not that important, but told you that if you can do more when you wanted to, but just to let her know and just see how it goes. And she said in 3 months, you came to her and said, I want to go full time. What was it? I mean, I've known Claudia for a long time. I used to work for her. Claudia is awesome. She's one of my favorite people in Region 5, favorite coaching adults in Region 5. But she also taught me a lot being a club coach when I was starting. What was it about that interaction, that meeting, that you feel has set you on your pace to where you are now?
I think it was, so I was at Stars and Trips before, and when my dad got the job at Michigan, we had to move. And one thing about me, I was a very stubborn kid. I hated change. I was so mad at my dad for, you know, getting this opportunity of a lifetime because I had to leave all my friends and stuff. Like, I had to change everything. And then I was also in the part of my like gymnastics career where I didn't like really fully realize how good I was. Like, people told me, "Oh, you're good." Or you watch videos, like, "Okay, I'm good." But I think Claudia, you know, sitting down and having that meeting with me, and believing in me, and just, you know, not letting me quit was just like, okay, well, she knows, well, I didn't know this, but this girl knows nothing about me, but I guess I'll try it, you know, we'll see. And then just her coaching style was so welcoming, and she was so flexible with, you know, my mental little things that I had. And just I saw how much fun that the girls who were already there at Gym America had. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of like it here. Ed and Brian, it was just, you know, the full crew. And I'm so glad that she kind of had that meeting with me. And I actually have a tattoo of the Gym America logo on my ankle. And because people are like, oh, like, what's that? And I told them, I was like, if it weren't for Claudia, if it weren't for Gym America, like, I would not be a D1 gymnast today. Like, I would not be here if it weren't for her. So I'm very thankful for her, and I'm very thankful that she took that chance on me. And
Well, she definitely made sure I asked you that. So then you already said that, so we don't have to actually ask that question, what that tattoo meant, because she says, what is your first tattoo? And so that's awesome. That's really cool. To looking back at Claudia, what do you think is the number one thing she taught you?
that, you know, well, okay, let's see. Let's think about this. There's a lot of things that there's more than one way to achieve something, to achieve a goal. I was a very A, B, C, D, like there's one way to do one thing, and this is the only way you could do it. She definitely opened my mind to a lot of things, like her and her staff, like, you know, my series on beam. I was so set on stone and doing a back handspring, layout, step out on beam. I just couldn't get past it. I could not do it on high beam. And then one day I got the courage. I was like, okay, well, what if I do a back handspring, back tuck? Like, does that work? She's like, yeah, try it. Did it in like 2 days. And I was like, okay, wow. And I still get the credit. I still get to move up in levels. Okay, great. So she taught me to basically have an open mind and try different things if one thing isn't working. Yeah.
Obviously, she did want me to tell you, make sure that you invite her to your wedding, but I know you already said yes. So,
So I saw that on here. Make sure you invite Claudia to your wedding, and I was like, wait a minute. Is she engaged?
No.
I don't know. No. What? And I had to go go look at your social media. I was like, is there something I need to know that I don't?
But she said that about all her athletes. She always says, she better invite me to her wedding. She always says that.
Of course.
Every time.
Claudia
out of my wedding. Of course not.
Yeah. Yes. Great one.
Claudia's amazing.
Quick break to in the podcast to mention the Region 5 College Salute podcast, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. We have 2 social media channels completely dedicated to our Region 5 alums. Make sure you follow us on R5 College Salute podcast on Instagram, where you can see video of our alums in action, like when Sidney tied her career high on bars, 9.9 last year as an Ohio State Buckeye. It's where our podcast links are posted, and of course, all the awesome photos Kim takes during the NCAA season. Like watching college routine video? Well, then our podcast YouTube channel, R5 College Salute, is one you should subscribe to. We have segments from our podcast, routines from each week during the NCAA season, video shorts of skills during preseason and season, and much more. Follow and subscribe to both these channels to keep up with our Region 5 alums all year long. Well, we're going to talk floor.
We are going to talk floor because it's always the floor routine for me. It's my favorite part. And all your floor routines have been spectacular. But let's talk really quick about your floor routine from Pitt, where you literally kick one of your coaches in the face in the corner. No, not like literally, but like figuratively. And let's just talk about that really quick first. Like, how did that come about? Like, why are you kicking?
That was all Samantha Snyder. She was the one who choreographed my routine. And she saw how expressive and, you know, how much I like to do things and interact on floor. So she just kind of put that in. And when she first said that, I was like, wait, you want me to step kick out of my second pass? She's like, yes. And so like over time we would have like my teammates just stand in that corner and just, you know, pretend to get hit. So that was that. And I think the first time I competed, like the commentators were like, oh, like they were like shocked, and the judges, or they just loved it. The crowd loved it. And yeah, it was probably like one of my favorite parts, because like nobody expects anyone to like step out of their pass to kick somebody, and then somebody in the corner just like, you know, it's not there's not really that many like interactive routines or floor routines in college. I mean, maybe at like UCLA, but you know, mainstream, I guess you could say.
Well, I mean, like, and you had to be ready for it though, like us as viewers, because sometimes they wouldn't, like, I remember the first time I saw your foot, and then I kind of saw like her go down. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? Mm-hmm. And if they're not ready for it, like, you don't see it. Yeah. And that's kind of like, there was somebody at Ball State that used to do that to Scott at Ball State, and he would fly back onto a mat just like that. But he would literally like onto a mat, fall backwards. And I remember commentating for them. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. So it's like, you have to be ready for it. Right. But I went back and watched another routine that was like filmed from up higher. So it wasn't on the TV live or anything. It was filmed from up higher. So you actually saw it, and she did a great job, just like throwing herself backwards. But like, I feel like all your routines could have been like interactive routines, like from club to now. Like, there's always parts in there that you find the judge, you find a teammate, you find the camera. I mean, I have from 2020 or 2019, like I have eye contact with you in the shot, and it's like you just know how to do that. It's like you're just a born natural performer. But just kind of talk about how your performance quality, how your routines may have just like evolved from those club routines till now. Like I know you're still throwing the faces and the sass and the attitude, but do you feel like you've just evolved? Do you feel like you've kind of just, this is how you've always been? Kind of just
I just think like way back in like the compulsory days, like we had like this one goal, this one meet to like we all agreed to like wink at a judge or something. I was like level 4, and I just love that feeling of just like, look at me, judge, like I'm gonna wink at you and you're gonna give me a good score. Like I just love that. And then also like obviously watching like the older girls at their doing their optional routines and just doing that, and I was like, oh, I just can't wait to just do that. And then watching college gymnastics and just, you know, the whole like pizzazz. So like seeing that from like a young age, I just really wanted to embody that. Like I don't know if you can like find like my old like level 7 routine, I was even like doing that too. I just love trying to just make the judge just smile because it's supposed to be fun. It's a floor routine. I remember there was this one meet. I don't know what was going on with that judge that day, but I guess like the floor routines were just really, really boring. I went and she literally like when I was done, she was like, thank you so much. Like she literally thanked me for having like a fun, interesting floor routine. And I'm like, that, I mean, isn't it like it should, I think it's an artistic part of gymnastics. Or gymnastics is self-expression, whether, you know, you're a lines person and you're very like technical, or you're like fun, like hip-hoppy, like, you know, expressing. And obviously when I got to college, I was like, okay, well, now I'm in college, now I can really like, you know, because this is not just for like an individual score. This is for the team, and it's entertainment for the crowd, like watching, because people are there to watch you, not just, you know, just the one person. So it's always been my goal to put on a show and grab people's attention. And it's also like, you know, if they're looking at you smiling and having a good time, they're looking up here, they're not looking at like, you know, the small little tiny details that they could take, or if you're like slightly out of bounds or not, like they won't really notice that because you're just like, you know, having a good time. And it also just makes floor so much more fun. Like everyone asks, like, what's your favorite event? Floor is my favorite event because it's fun. Like, who wouldn't want to go out there and just have a little mini dance party while you're tumbling, and you know you get to do it with your teammates on the sideline and the crowd cheering you on and chanting the OHIO and stuff. Who wouldn't want to do that? It's fun.
And I feel like Meredith and Claudia both like complement each other a little bit, because like I mean, you have great routines in college, you have great routines in club, and you're doing your faces, you're doing like the one you had this past year, and you're like, you know, pointing and stuff. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I like always made sure I'm like, okay, if she starts there, she's going to do the faces over there, you know, so I make sure I set up for that face because I love those. That's so funny. But like even those little things, like you're just standing there, you know, pointing to the judge and like doing stuff with your hand, but you still have this face. Like I just cannot wait to see what your next floor routine will be.
Oh, I just got my music the other day. It's exciting. I don't want to give too much away, but
I know, that's fine. I'll wait.
We don't get it, but we get it. We understand.
I get it.
Yes.
I'm excited. I mean, it's your last one, right? So, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm excited. You don't get like you're not having like a random fifth year we don't know about. But I'm excited to see what your last floor routine is going to be, and if you're going to be kicking anybody or, you know, hitting anybody out of bounds. But I'm excited, and I just can't wait to see what your last floor routine is going to be, because let me tell you, it's going to be a show and a party, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm very excited. Very excited.
I am very surprised that Kim has not mentioned this yet. And
What
is the impact that Michaela Stuckey has on you and your floor routines and stuff? Because there was one who knew how to perform a floor routine.
Yes.
Just curious.
Yes.
What impact she's had.
We just love Mick. Like when she became a part of our like staff last year, she was, yeah, I think she was like one of our fifth years was like older than her, but you know, she was somebody who was super like relatable, you know, because she had just graduated college, she had just done that, so she, you know, could add some new flair and new generational like dance and flirting, because you know Mary's great, she, you know, but
Is that a cat?
yes, it's my cat.
Yes. At first I was like, because already saw one of them, but at first I was like, what is behind her? Is someone like trying to get in? But then I'm like, oh, I think it could be one of her cats.
I live with my two cats, but yeah, Mick, and then also she's very like collaborative. She's like, she knows how to work with you, and she knows, you know, is this something like, what do you have? Like, what do you want to do here? Like, do you prefer this or this? And I'm like, I don't know, at least me, like, I'm a very vocal person. Like, actually, like, what if we do this? And she's like, oh, I like that. And then we could add this. And, you know, we just work together very well. So, like, last year, Mare and Mick worked on my floor routine, and, you know, it was great. It was amazing. And I liked having, you know, Mare, she's very, like, she has, like, these ideas, and Mick just knows how to, like, she takes those ideas and just makes it, you know, personalized for me, and then I could just kind of add my little pizzazz to it. So it was great. Like, she's amazing, and I just love having her on staff. She's just, you know, I don't know. It's just great just having somebody like closer to your age, you know, as a coach, just being there, just someone who can relate to you in that area as well.
She certainly knows how to floor, that's for sure.
Yes.
She knows how to floor. I like that. She knows how to floor. And we all know that I love Michaela Stuckey. I mean, I got to commentate for her at Eastern, and now I'm so happy that she's with Ohio State. But I love her. And it's funny that Jason brought that up, because I usually talk about her like every podcast I can. She's like one of those people that's just great. And great energy, great person. So you guys... And she's another one that I feel like is going to crawl up on the floor with y'all during your floor routines, because she gets so close.
Oh my God.
You could just kick her in the next one. I mean, she gets so close to the floor. I have pictures of her like, I'm like, okay, you're getting close to the edge, girl.
So into it, I love it. And I literally remember her like way back. I was like, oh my God, like, now look at you, you're coaching me, like, look at that. But yeah, she's great, and she's just the energy, the extra oomph that we needed on floor last year. Like, she would always be in that corner, just like, let's get it, Sid, like, let's go. God, I love her cheering. It just cracks me up. Yeah.
Well,
so intense.
We've mentioned a few of your coaches, obviously Meredith. You've mentioned Randy, obviously now Michaela Stuckey. But you talked about Dave being a coach of yours at camp, and you had him as a camp coach, and then obviously a coach at Pitt. But you have a coach now that actually did coach you in club gymnastics, and that would be Quest Hayden, now an assistant coach at Ohio State. Just talk a little bit about what that situation is like having a coach that you had in club now coach you in college.
Oh, it's just so great. It's really a full circle moment, because I think he was a volunteer assistant at Michigan that year, and I think that was my sophomore year going to my junior. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was that. So seeing him kind of just, you know, fresh out of college, and, you know, coaching, and, you know, trying to balance college gymnastics and club gymnastics, and him just being really funny. He's a really funny, goofy, like, guy. Like, that's just who he is. And he's also a very technical coach. He's a really great coach, especially on bars. And he's doing vault and floor for us at Ohio State. So he just knows what he's talking about, which is, you know, funny. And so that was that in club. And then when Mare asked me about him, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. I remember him in club. And, you know, she ended up hiring him, and you know, he's literally the exact same. He's just married with 2 kids now. Like, he's a father. But he's still the exact same, goofy, fun, just like exactly everything I remembered him in high school. Just now we're a senior, and he's a dad. I'm just like, oh my gosh, where'd the time go? Oh my gosh. But he's amazing, and he's great. And all of my former teammates in club, they're all so jealous when they heard the news. They're like, there's no way, because we all loved Quest. Like, Quest was just that amazing coach that everyone loved, and so we were very we were very sad to see him like go and move on to coach in college, but we were very happy for him. And now that we're in college, and you know, we a couple of us got to see him like at Iowa, like coach, and we got to be like, oh, hi, Quest, like we miss you. And now like he's coaching me, and everyone's like, oh, like we're so jealous. I just want to. We miss Quest so much, but he's great, and he's an amazing addition to the team. Like all the girls love him, and he just brings this, like new, like perspective, since he's also on the younger side too. But yet he's still so good and so talented in how he coaches as well. So there's that. It's hilarious.
I know. I told you before we went live that 2 of my level 10s went to Iowa camp like a couple times and just loved Quest. Had nothing, always loved how he coached, how he was with, in terms of interaction, and just it was always fun. And yes. I know that's cool. And I know one wants possibly go to Iowa, and so it's sad that he's still not there, but maybe he should go to Ohio State. Who knows?
How long did he coach at Gym America?
Just a
year, like a year and a half.
Oh, just a year?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, because I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was just a year.
Yeah. Oh, okay, and it's like maybe clearly he wasn't there when I would bebop down there, but yeah, it's like I had no idea when I saw that. I was like, he coached at Gym America.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
couldn't even tell you. He is fun though. I remember I chatted with him at Iowa a bunch of times in the stands and stuff. He's a good one.
Yes.
I feel like I need a flow chart though to keep track of like who came from where, who's going where, who's stuff like that these days with everybody switching schools and staff and all that.
That flow chart might have Gym America mixed into it almost all the time, because the number of coaches that have coached at Gym America that now either coach college or club or just be part of gymnastics, everyone passes through Claudia's door, including myself. So.
Let's talk a little bit about a moment that stands out for you the most in your 2 years at Pitt and then your 2 years at Ohio State. Sorry, whatever, year and a half.
So let's see. Moments that stood out for me at Pitt, I guess just my entire freshman year. I mean, how often is it that you are competing all around at every single meet as a freshman, leading off and anchoring? That's just a big deal. And, I took on that role, and, it wasn't easy, but I did it. And I had, my 2 other really close freshman teammates with me as well, just, holding it down. That was amazing. And then it was my sophomore year. It was at Ball State where I scored my 995 on floor. Yes, that was another big moment. And I don't know, it was just so unexpected. Like the floor warm up was not that great at all, but I ended up just locking in and just doing that. And I didn't even think it was my best routine, but obviously I went back and watched and I was like, okay, that was a pretty good routine. A 995 worthy routine. And I just was like, oh my gosh. And I think that was a moment where I was like, okay, I could actually get a 10 on this event. Like it's definitely possible. So there's that. Those were my top 2 moments at Pitt. And then I think at Ohio State, one was obviously competing in Ann Arbor at regionals, making it to regionals even, because that was my first regionals ever, but being able to compete back home essentially, and having all of my family there, because it's a lot of my family have always wanted to come and watch me in college, but there has never really been a meet like close enough, and this was a meet, so I had so many family there, and it was great. Seeing them in the stands and cheering me on, and just friends and people from high school that went to Michigan that just came and watched. It was just great. It was amazing just being home. And then I think competing against Michigan at home and almost beating them, but it was we had a really great meet. We just fell short 2 tenths, but it's okay. But it was still we were still really proud of ourselves for that too. So I think those so far are my top 2.
Yeah, so far. You still got a whole another year to go.
Well, you certainly returned the favor in Ann Arbor at regionals, did you not?
And then some. Let's just deep dive into that moment, because let me tell you, that was a moment. So qualifying, into the finals, beating Michigan, and all that jazz. So talk a little bit about that moment and doing that in front of your friends, your friends and family coming from Michigan. But just talk about that environment was like insanity. So talk a little bit about that whole experience.
Well, like, I was born in Michigan, pretty much raised, in college athletics, and I went to a lot of basketball games in Chrysler and a lot of gymnastics meets in Chrysler. So just being able to kind of come back, and I know this place like the back of my hand. Like, I know all the tunnels, I know everything. So it's just kind of funny, just like being here on the other side, not a part of, that team or being associated with, Michigan, but it felt comfortable. I was, again, like I was at home. Like, this was something, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't anything. I was excited. And again, like that, especially day one, like seeing and hearing all of my family, like I just felt like their presence there. And it was, yeah, I mean, like you said, it was just a moment. And it was just amazing just to be able to come home and just absolutely dominate. And like, and it was kind of funny, like on the other side, like I kind of betrayed my hometown, but it was kind of, I don't know, hometown hero at the same time. There's that little juxtaposition. But again, it was just so great being home and having that opportunity. Like, even some of the workers who were like working at Chrysler, they recognized me. They're like, "Oh my God, Sidney! Like, how have you been?" Good, in scarlet and gray, OH, But yeah, it just really felt like, I keep saying this, a full circle moment. Like, I just keep having a lot of those in my life. Coming back home and just absolutely killing it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and the environment of that meet was just it. Like, the Ohio State fans are just insane, and when you guys your name came up that you guys were moving on to the next, it's like, holy crap! Like, what just happened? That's this like insanity. Like, as I said, insanity. Like, historic moment for you guys.
Yes.
But I do remember like when you got announced, and like Hannah Scheibel, when both of you guys were announced, like in the intros and stuff, like that place just erupting. Like, obviously you're from Michigan, all these people know you, and then she's from Port Huron, and all American Flames brought their entire staff, crew, the entire city came. But just like, I just remember standing there as your guys' names respectively were announced, and just like this roar, and I'm like, that's awesome. That's very cool that these two athletes that are born and raised in Michigan have gone somewhere else and come back to this great, this great standing ovation, great announcements, and it was very cool. It was just very cool to see.
That meet was fun to watch. I mean, that was my first regionals to see NCAA regionals live in several years. I mean, I worked for Gymnastique when I saw the last one, and just being on the floor, but being like, I could see your corral and just the excitement after routine, and then to my right is the Michigan athletes like falling off beam, and I'm like, oh my God, holy cow! And it's just like, just the feel and crazy. I mean, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I was only there for day one. I wish I could have been there day two. Day two. I was not there for the play-in, not day three. So I wish I could have been, but we had state meet. But it was an awesome opportunity, awesome excitement just to see that.
I was there every day drinking it in.
Yes, you were. Thank God.
Just every day.
But no, that was an awesome experience, and congrats to obviously Ohio State in that. But you did.
Y'all did blow up a lot of
brackets
boards, brackets,
yes.
Because what?
Yes.
I was like, well, there goes mine. Y'all destroyed a lot of brackets that day. A lot of papers got thrown out.
It was just cool that all the Region 5 alums that were in that meet. That's also the coolest thing. So
Yes.
Yeah. You've done a lot of skills. You've done a lot of gymnastics. You've done a lot of stuff. Are there any skills in your career that you practiced in the gym, whether it's college, club, whatever, that you wish you got to compete, or that you didn't? Or are there any dream skills that you just wish you could learn?
I was just talking about this like literally yesterday. I have always wanted to be able to do a double layout on floor, on bars. I've always just wanted to be able to do it. I just could never figure it out. On bars, I do not tap into my dismount on bars. I'm one of those people who just love to muscle bars. Um, and that doesn't really work when you're trying to do a double layout. And yeah, I tried, failed, gave up on that dream, and that was okay. And then I'd always just play on like double layouts on like tramp and stuff. I never actually like attempted to do it, but I always thought they were like whenever anybody did them on floor, I just thought it was just so pretty and just so cool, and I was always just envious. I was like it seems like such a cool skill just to do. Like,
I feel like a double layout would look good on you.
yeah,
For sure.
it.
That's crazy.
I think I have like a couple of videos when I was like 13 or 14, like trying them. I never really like put any full effort into them because I was more of like a full in person. Did not. I did not like full ins, but I was good at them. But my heart was always on double layouts on those events.
Well, there's still time. You have a whole year.
Well, you could do your full in too if you'd like. I mean, that's fine too.
I mean, or that. I mean, whatever. Whatever you
I
want
don't
to
even
do.
remember the last time I did a full in.
Okay, so then maybe don't do that. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's not do that.
Never mind on that.
Let's not do that.
Do you not do beam anymore?
Oh, we talked about this prior to recording. Yes. Please let everyone know your thoughts on that.
Or at least let me know.
I'm so sorry to break everyone's heart. Everyone that I've known has always loved my beam. Me and Beam had broken up. I think it was kind of like middle of my sophomore year where I was just, I just enjoyed having an event off, especially the most stressful event. And this is actually kind of a funny story. So I came to Ohio State and I actually was training all around for a bit, getting back on beam. And then I had done a front toss and I had landed on my big toe and just completely ripped my big toenail off, like clean. So the coaches kind of got together and they're like, okay, well, we kind of need you on the other 3 events. So we're just going to pull back on beam for a little bit. And I was like, okay, all right, that's fine.
Sweet.
And then also like we had a hugely stacked beam team at Ohio State. And I was like, honestly, leave it to the people who love and enjoy beam. Like that's just their event that they love and enjoy doing. I'm good at it, but I just, I'm too, like even watching, like if you watch me on the sideline of beam, I'm just like, I can't. So yeah, me and Beam have broken up. I still kind of train it a little bit, but it's not like for real, like serious. But I probably wouldn't.
You just do it for fun, just because.
I will not become.
I was gonna say because your layout on beam was like so good.
My mom, that's like the number one thing. She loves to tell people, oh, she used to be so good at beam. She won states on beam like this year. Like she's so good, and I was like, yep. And that ship has sailed.
And that's gonna stay there. That's gonna stay there.
That ship has sailed.
It's gonna hang out in the past.
I was like, yeah, I love doing all around my freshman year, and I'm glad that I've got that experience to be able to do that because it's not, very often. And that's that freshman year. Glad God did it once, and that's
there you go.
I mean,
You're like, I'm good, satisfied. Thank you. Competed beam in college. Good.
like that.
I'm drawing a blank on her name, but your sophomore who does the round off layout to 2 feet is gorgeous.
Oh, Courtney Buchanan. Oh,
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Jeez.
I love that. When I saw her do that the first time, I was like, holy crap!
Mm-hmm.
Like it's good. Like did she go 9.95 on the routine this year? Like what that was like the first one or whatever.
9975.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I was like, wow, that routine is awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she
All
was
right.
making a
So before Jason deep dives into these questions for you, I have one more question.
Okay.
Have you had any beignets lately?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
Have you tried to make them again?
Oh my gosh, wait, that's so funny. No, I don't even know what happened to the mix. So we at LSU, they had like this, we competed at LSU our first meet, and one of my friends on the men's team was like, oh, bring me back some beignets. I'm like, well, it's not gonna be fresh, so how about we just make them? And they had like this like box of like beignet mix, and so my friends and I, we decided to try to make them on like TikTok live, and
Yeah, you
it
did.
was a lot harder than the instructions seemed. They came out decent, like they tasted fine. They didn't look very good, but no, I don't even know where the box is. I think it's still at their place somewhere, but no, I have not
Oh my.
to make beignet.
I literally that night, it was like guys were doing it like super late at night too, like super late at night, and I was like making t-shirts. Forgot probably for us to go to regionals or something. But I'm like scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden I see you, and it's live. I'm like, what's she doing? Making beignets. I'm like, huh. Well, now I'm invested, and so I like literally like my phone was up, and I was just like watching you guys make beignets for like I don't even know how long while I was making these t-shirts. I mean, it got me through my t-shirt making, but I'm just like,
It was so funny, and we turned on like Princess and the Frog. I don't know. It was just, we literally just randomly like at like 9 p.m. on like a random like Wednesday, like, oh, like let's make
yeah.
beignets.
I get the link, I believe, and I know on our Fab Five, which we start our podcast during the season, that was on Fab Five. You know, she had to talk about.
Oh yeah, it was.
You made beignets and all that, so that's awesome.
Because it was hilarious. Like I just couldn't get over it. I'm just like, what is happening?
Very-
And then I found myself like watching you guys make beignets. Like that's the part too. Like I just like left my phone on. I'm like, I'm interested. What's a beignet taste like? Yeah. I love beignets though. They're good.
I got fit into a rabbit hole of making a cake once. I sat there and watched this lady make this cake and spin and all this, and then ice the cake. I'm like, why am I watching this? But, you get into it. Like, I don't even know who you are. At least you know who Sidney is. I had no clue who this person was. But
right?
I'm watching this cake being made. I'm like, all right.
TikTok, I tell you.
Yes. Well, we've talked a whole heck of a lot about your gymnastics and the excitement of gymnastics and fun not gymnastics questions. Nothing to do with gymnastics at all. What never fails to make you laugh and why?
I think my 16-year-old elderly cat that I've had since I was 5, she every now and then gets like these zoomies, and 16 years old is pretty old on a cat. And so it's just seeing this old grandma just kind of bolt back and forth, just like randomly, like in the morning, just, never fails to make me laugh. Love her.
That's so funny.
Yes.
Does she have to like have a nap after that then?
She sleeps all day. All day. I come home to sleep.
I want that life.
Me too. I want to be a cat. Like a cat like that someone loves, not like a cat on the street.
Yeah, 100%. I want one of that. Sleeping life.
Yeah.
Animal life. Just sleep all day
Right?
long. Sleep, eat, and walk.
When I come back in my third life, because my next one's going to be different, but the one after that, like my final life that I come back as, I'm coming back as a rich girl's dog.
Oh, okay.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Like a rich girl's dog. Like, little pocket poodle that flies first class. That will be my final life.
Okay. I love that. I really do.
Thanks.
What is the worst unwanted present you had to keep and why?
I wouldn't say it's like kind of unwanted. It's more of like a funny one. So this again kind of relates with my cats. But when I was about to leave for college, obviously I couldn't take my cats with me. So my aunt, she gave me, it's like my grandma's sister, so my great aunt, she gave me like this pillow with like my cat's faces just plastered on it.
I love that.
And it says like, oh, like we are Sydney's cats and we love and miss her. So I loved it. I mean, it was kind of like something just like in my bed. And it was kind of hard to explain. Like people came into my room and was like, why do you have a pillow with your cats on it? And I was like, oh, it's a gift. But I think that one's pretty funny.
I love that. I think that's fantastic.
It's such like a grandma like gift that,
Oh yeah.
like, oh, eventually I brought them. So no. The pillow,
Yeah.
I still have the pillow. So
That's fantastic, though. I mean, she could have given you like a T-shirt with them on it too. That would have been even better. My dad did that once. He gave all of us T-shirts for Christmas with our animals on them.
oh,
Yeah.
Tell us about your favorite moment in your life so far and what made it your favorite.
my favorite moment in my life so far. That's a good question. Probably able to be old enough to do like fun like group vacations with like your friends, like without like your family. So like this year, a bunch of my teammates, we went to Clearwater, Florida, and we rented out like this Airbnb and just having vacation and having like that money. That was fun. Going on vacation with my teammates, I guess, was like the best part. Just growing up, I guess, is a good one to say. Growing up.
There you go. Just being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Adulting, even though it may not be really adulting yet, but it's adulting as it is now.
Like the transition between like being a college adult and a real life.
Right. Yes. Soon to be a real life adult, right?
Yes.
Soon to be. If you had a warning label, what would yours say and why?
I am extremely competitive, no matter how big or small the competition is. I don't like to lose. So there's that warning label. I will win at all costs. I guess you could say. I try to give my best. Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Feel that.
Yeah. Well, hey, watch out for Sidney, Washington.
Yeah.
And then, obviously you talk about adulting. So where you see yourself in 10 years when you are a real adult? Let's
10
just say
years.
not a college adult.
Well, I'm studying biology in college in the pre-medicine path. So I am hoping to go to med school in the near future. It's coming up soon. But hopefully become a doctor of some sort, and I want to be a dermatologist. Or my backup plan is to be a college coach. I love gymnastics so much, and I always think that, I would always love to help more gymnasts grow and become better gymnasts and coach. So either a doctor or a coach. That's where I see myself in 10 years.
I love that. A million more years of school, college coach.
Yeah.
You could do both. Let's be real. Let's not do either or. You could do both. You could be a doctor and a college coach.
Dermatologist. There you go.
Hey, girls need dermatologists. Yeah. So do boys.
Well, sometimes more boys than girls.
Yeah, you could you could do both. You could. Oh, what a dynamic that would be.
Yes.
What a reality show that would be.
That'll be funny.
That would be. Yeah, it would. It'd be so great. Yeah. I like it.
Well, Sid, we appreciate you for coming on the show today. I know you're in the midst of, obviously, fall semester. I know we'll be following your senior year closely. I believe half of your team is Region 5. I do know you have one of my favorite floor routines, one of my favorite performers on floor as a freshman, Carly, on your team as a freshman this year. And you got a transfer and I'm interested to see if Kate makes the bar lineup, because Kate is very good on bars. So I'm interested to see about watching our alums, no matter what school they're at, even if it is a Buckeye. even if it's a Buckeye. But anyway, we love watching and we're excited. And I know Big Tens are at Michigan, and so that's going to finish out at least your Big Ten career at home, which is fun. 2 years in a row doing that, so that's a lot of fun for you. And we look forward to watching you and how your senior year unfolds as you head into competition season in a few months here. So thanks again for coming on the show. We enjoyed talking to you, and good luck in 2025. Of
course, thank you so much for inviting me. I always see you guys posting on. I'm glad you guys asked me.
Absolutely. We were so glad to have you.
Well, yep. Good luck. We'll see you in a few months as you and the Buckeyes take on the season in the new Big Ten of 12. So that'll be fun.
24.
24, and 12 gymnastics team. So interested to see how that all works. But good luck, and we look forward to how 2025 goes for you. So thanks, Sid. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Help more people find our podcast by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the College Salute podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or alums you would like us to have on the show, please feel free to email us at region5insider@gmail.com. Thanks again to Full Out Recruiting and all of our subscribers. We could not do all of this without your support. Follow us on all of our social media accounts for the most up-to-date information on what's going on in Region 5.
Thanks again to Sidney, and of course all of you for joining us as we check in on our alums this fall here on the College Salute. Stay tuned to our social media to find out who the next Alum Convo podcast guest will be, and talk to you soon for more spine-breaking coverage of our Region 5 alums. And as always, remember to follow, like, and subscribe Peace out, Region 5.
5.
I'm a Region 5. Tell me all you want, everything you think I'm not. I'm about to show you where I've been. Say 1, 2, ready or not, here I come, coming in hot. I'ma take my body for a spin.